man in the dream. One night I had a dream. In the dream I saw a man with a book in his hand and a big heavy burden on his back. It was so heavy he could hardly walk. The man's name was Christian. He opened the book and began to read it. As he read, all of a sudden he cried out, "What shall I do to be saved?" Christian lived with his family in a city called the City of Destruction. He had read in his book that the city was in great danger. Something terrible was going to happen. If Christian and his family didn't escape the City of Destruction, they would die. They were in danger. They had to find a way to escape. Christian went to bed that night very worried. He hardly slept at all, tossing and turning, wondering what he was going to do. Christian woke up the next morning still carrying his heavy burden. It seemed like it had got heavier overnight. He picked up a book and headed out into the fields for a walk. Christian meets Evangelist. So Christian went into the fields again, still reading his book and still carrying his burden. He looked as if he might start running, but then he stood still because he couldn't decide which way to run. Then he saw a man called Evangelist approaching. "Why are you weeping?" he asked Christian. "Sir, this book tells me to run away from the fire that is coming," he answered. "And also I'm afraid this burden on my back will sink me, so I want to get rid of it." "So why are you just standing here?" asked Evangelist. "Because I don't know which way to go." Evangelist pointed across the big field. "Do you see that little wooden gate?" he asked. "No," said Christian. "Then can you see a light shining?" "I think so," said Christian. "Keep your eye fixed on that light," said Evangelist, "and go that way. Take the straight path. You will reach the gate, knock, and someone will tell you what to do next." Christian is chased by friends. Christian's friends had come out to watch him. Some of them mocked him and others threatened him, but two men decided to try and fetch him back. One called Mr. Stubborn and the other Mr. Changeable. They ran after him and soon caught him up. "Why have you come?" Christian asked. "To persuade you to come back with us," they said. "Then you're wasting your time," said Christian, "because you live in the City of Destruction. You come with me." "What?" said Mr. Stubborn. "Leave behind our home and friends?" "Yes, you see, I'm seeking a never-ending kingdom where we will live forever. Read about it in my book." "Nonsense," cried Mr. Stubborn. "Bother your old book. Come back with us." "I won't." Until now, Mr. Changeable had kept quiet, but now he spoke up. "If what Christian says is true, I'm going with him." "Do as you please," said Mr. Stubborn. "I'm going home. I won't go a step further with two such great idiots." And so they parted. Mr. Stubborn went back, but Christian and Mr. Changeable went on, talking 10 to the dozen. "Tell me more, Christian," said Mr. Changeable, "about the place we're going to." "There they will give us crowns of glory and clothes shining like the sun." "That sounds great. Anything else?" "Well, there won't be any more crying," said Christian. "The owner of the place will wipe every tear from our eyes." "I'm glad to hear it. Come on, let's get moving." "I'm afraid I can't walk any faster," said Christian, "with this burden on my back."